Chapter 7. Penny led Matt back to the kitchen after they delivered the water to Joe and her father in the living room. Matt took a seat at the small kitchen table, and Penny sat across from him. As she settled in, Matt caught a whiff of her perfume, something subtle and floral that made it difficult for him to concentrate. "So, I guess it's my turn," Penny said, meeting his eyes across the table. Matt cleared his throat. "Let's start with the basics. Full name and age?" "Penelope Ann McKnight. Everyone calls me Penny. I'm 20, she said, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "And you're in school?" Matt asked. "Just started my sophomore year at UT Dallas. I still live at home, commute to school." Matt nodded but found his thoughts wandering as he looked at her. He'd been thinking about her since their first meeting, and sitting this close only made it worse. "Are you okay?" Penny asked, tilting her head slightly. "You seem distracted." Matt hesitated, then decided on honesty. "I've been thinking about you since we met." A small smile played at the corners of her mouth. "Good." Matt knew he was crossing a line. The admission hung in the air between them, unprofessional and potentially case-damaging. Any decent investigator would excuse himself, hand the interview off to Joe, and walk away. But he didn't move. He told himself it was because Joe was busy with Reed, because they needed answers now, because switching investigators midstream would only complicate things. The truth was simpler and uglier. He didn't want to walk away from her. Matt gave a small nod. "Are you able to talk about what happened?" She met his eyes. "Have you seen the video?" "Not yet," Matt said. "Why don't you start from the beginning?" Penny looked down, thumbs working against each other. "There was a party," she said after a moment, "at the Westmere, off 75. Matt waited. "One of the upstairs suites. Someone booked it for the night. I wasn't going to go." She gave a faint shrug. "I changed my mind." "Why?" "Because one of the gods hosted the party," she said. "The gods?" Matt asked. She nodded. "It started as a joke back when I still attended Vista Ridge. A group of elite kids, mostly athletes and rich kids, started calling themselves the gods." "That was clever of them," Matt said. Penny smiled. "They were the popular crowd. They thought they ran the place. I suppose they did. They might still." "The in crowd," Matt said. Penny nodded. "They gave themselves names. Greek gods, like actual gods from mythology. It was a joke at first, something stupid to get attention. But then people started playing along." "How many gods we talking about?" Matt asked. "5, Penny said. "Raymond Merrick was Zeus. Of course, he was the center of it all. Everything revolved around him." "Who else?" "Barbara Carter called herself Hera, Queen of the Gods, Raymond's match. She took it the most seriously, like it meant something. Ed Black was Mars. James Daniel was Apollo." Matt raised an eyebrow at that. "And the 5th? "Jane Flynn. Athena. Smart. Vicious too, if you got on her bad side." "I thought Mars was Roman," Matt said. "I said popular, not smart," Penny said. Matt laughed. "You said it started as a joke, but you think it became more than that?" She nodded. "Yeah, it got bigger, more organized. Not just something they said in the hallway. It turned into this whole thing." "What kind of thing?" "I don't know exactly, but I've heard rumors. A website, some kind of private group or invite-only chat. People started talking like it was a real thing. You had to be chosen to be part of it, like it actually meant something." "Who treated it like that?" Matt asked. "Barbara," Penny said. "Barbara Carter took it way seriously. I hear she has worshippers now." Matt watched her for a second. "Penny, Raymond Merrick is dead. He was murdered yesterday." She froze. Her breath caught mid-inhale. Her hand lifted to her mouth. "Oh my God," she whispered. "Ray's dead?" Matt gave a slow nod. "He is." He let the silence stretch. "You think I did something to Ray?" Penny said. "We're just being thorough. We need to talk to everyone." Her eyes narrowed slightly. She glanced toward the hallway, then back at Matt. "You're not here for me. You think my dad hurt him?" Matt held her gaze. "Did he?" "No." "You sound convinced," Matt said. Penny leaned back in the chair. "I know my father. Reed McKnight is a lot of things, but he's not a murderer. My dad is a grifter. He always has been. When the video surfaced, he saw dollar signs. An opportunity. So your father was trying to extort the Merricks? Matt asked. That's an ugly word. He wouldn't kill Ray. That would kill his golden goose. Where was your father yesterday? Matt asked. Isn't that why you're here? I don't keep his schedule. Go ask him. Matt pressed. What time did he come home? I have no idea, Matt. I was with a client. Who? Penny smiled. I don't give out my clients' personal information. How would you describe your father's mood recently, especially regarding Raymond Merrick? I haven't noticed anything unusual in my father's mood, and he doesn't give two shits about Merrick except that it might make him a couple of bucks. Has he ever threatened Raymond directly? Matt asked. Any comments about wanting to hurt him? Nothing. This is getting boring, Matt. Tell me about the party. The kids would call it epic. In what way? Eddie rented the entire hotel floor, top floor at the Westmere. It was ridiculous. Eddie? Matt asked. Ed Black. He threw the party, Penny said. Mars? Matt asked, checking his memory. Penny nodded. You called him Eddie. I refuse to refer to them as gods, Penny said. A religious objection? Matt asked. Number I refuse to play along? Matt nodded. So you went to the party? Yeah, like I said, I can't even tell you why. Was there alcohol? Are you kidding? She gave him a dry look. It was everywhere. Tell me about the booze, Matt said. I think I started with beer, Penny said. But honestly, it's hard to remember. Beer was just everywhere, like it was growing out of the walls and furniture. Matt didn't interrupt. A lot of the guys had two going at once, she continued. It was that kind of night. Just beer? He asked. She shook her head. Number it turned into shots after a while. Tequila, vodka, whatever was lined up. I don't remember when it started. Just that suddenly it was happening. Did you do shots? Yes. How many? She exhaled through her nose. I don't know. Too many. That's the best I can give you. Who was bringing you drinks? Penny shook her head. No idea. It wasn't like that. Nobody had to go to the bar for anything. If your hand was empty, someone shoved a red cup or a bottle at you. People were laughing, yelling, moving room to room. Matt leaned back slightly in his chair. Everybody there was underage. A crooked smile touched her lips. Eddie hired off-duty cops to work security. Nobody cared. Not them, not the hotel staff, not anybody. Off-duty cops? Matt asked, surprised. That's what Eddie told everyone. Big guys at all the entrances, checking IDs against some list. They were watching people stumble around completely wasted and didn't do a thing about it. Did you recognize any of them as local officers? I wasn't exactly studying their faces, Penny said, and they weren't in uniform. What about parents? Matt asked. Any adults keeping an eye on things? She looked at him like he was joking. Did you bring parents to your parties? He didn't answer that. Any drugs? He asked. She hesitated, then nodded. Just the usual. Weed. Probably pills, too. I didn't see any personally, but that doesn't mean they weren't there. Matt nodded. How much did you drink? She looked up at the ceiling for a moment, then back down. More than I should have. I wish I could tell you how much, but I can't. How close friends were you with the gods? Penny seemed to consider the question. Friends is too strong a word. What's the right word? Matt asked. She tapped her finger against the arm of the chair, searching for the right description. Acquaintances, I guess. We weren't enemies, but we also didn't hang out either. It was somewhere in between. She paused, then added, like, we'd say hi in the halls. I'd be invited to the bigger parties sometimes, but I wasn't in their inner circle. I was also a year ahead of them. Matt jotted a few more notes before glancing up at Penny again. Let's talk about, are we ever going to get to it? Penny cut in. The assault. We've been talking about the party for 20 minutes. Matt nodded. I've got to be thorough. Feels like stalling. It's not. If I rush, I might miss something important. Penny held his gaze for a moment, then nodded reluctantly. Fine. What else do you want to know? Tell me about the assault, Matt said. Penny narrowed her eyes and said, Cute. I figure we have built enough rapport at this point, Matt said. Is that what we were doing? I know other ways of building rapport, she said. Matt felt himself blush. He stumbled over his words and managed, Help me out here. Penny laughed. I remember sitting outside between Eddie and Ray. They were trying to talk me into getting naked and going swimming. Eddie had rented the whole pool area as well. A bunch of the kids were already skinny dipping. Did you? She nodded. I shouldn't have, but I did. So what happened in the pool? I don't know, Penny said. I've tried and tried to remember, but I can't. The next thing I recall is waking up in my car the next morning. Where was your car? Here, in front of the house. Did you drive home? I was in the passenger seat. Matt waited a beat. Were you dressed? Yes, she said. Everything was on. Nothing torn or anything. When did you realize something had happened? Penny examined her fingernails. I was sore. I knew it was from having sex, but I couldn't remember anything. Not even pieces. It was just gone. What did you do next? Matt asked. Penny shrugged. Nothing. You didn't tell anyone. She gave him a look. Tell who? The police? Matt didn't answer. She scoffed. My dad raised me to know better than that. You don't go to the cops unless you want things to get worse, especially if you don't have a name, or a memory, or any proof. Matt let her talk. And I didn't want trouble, she continued. I make good money now. The last thing I need is some detective poking around in my life, asking questions I don't want to answer. So you didn't talk to anyone? I made a couple calls, she said. I called Eddie. I asked him what happened. He laughed. What else? I called Ray too, she added. He dodged, said I was drunk and that it wasn't a big deal, so I dropped it. When did you find out about the video? A long time. I had forgotten about the whole thing. A friend called and said there was a video going around. Did you watch the video? Yes. What did it show? It showed a drunk or passed out girl. What does this have to do with Ray's murder? It happened 2 years ago. 2 years? Penny took a moment to recall the timeline. I was a senior when it happened. Seems like the video hit after I started college. I just wanted it to go away. I still do. When is the last time you talked to Ray? Matt asked. Penny shook her head. I don't know. It's been a while. I saw him around town from time to time, but we didn't talk. When is the last time you saw him? Same answer, Penny said, meeting his eyes with a look that suggested her patience was wearing thin.